a championship was on the line. And when you know that a championship on the line and any kind of mistake that was made, you're going to go back, dissect matters, and just revisit and relive every little waking moment, because you know how coaches are, Skip. They're so meticulous. The attention to detail is surreal, that anything that they're able to peel out that they feel remotely cost them anything is something that gnaws away at them. And so if you're a Gregg Popovich, obviously as great as he is, that's going to resonate with you. But at the same time, you know, what I would say to you is Gregg Popovich has got to look in the mirror too. Yeah, Danny Green had some good games during the NBA Finals. He had some not so good games. He's relatively young. He's a great kid, all right, can really shoot the basketball, gave you some moments that you didn't anticipate that helped San Antonio win some games. But I'd also remind Gregg Popovich that had you had Steven Jackson on your roster, that might have helped as well. But the choice was made that Manu, it's all about Manu. And we heard Steven Jackson allude to that personally. Mm-hmm. And so when you're talking about a championship being on the line, experience matters. Maybe, just maybe, a more experienced player would not have made the mistake that Danny Green made. And as a result, LeBron wouldn't have had that three to hit. And the result may have been different. But if you're going to nitpick and point out plays, then you also can't escape some of the decisions that you made that led to you relying on certain personnel that ultimately ended up making those mistakes. It comes with the territory. It's nothing to indict Gregg Popovich about or anything like that, because you know he's one of the top two coaches in the game and of the modern day era. But I just think that you've got to look at the big picture, and you've got to find a way to move beyond that, at least from a healthy perspective. If it's healthy for you to hold on to it because it lights a fire under anybody, then that's different. But if it's a detriment to the team, which I doubt it is, then that's something that you've got to monitor.
I'm fascinated by this. And you know, over the last 10 years, I have closely followed this coach, this team, and this franchise. Model franchise. Does it the right way, but does it its own way. And Stephen A., this is way, way out of character for Coach Gregg Popovich to hang on to a loss like this all the way into a next season, almost make it a battle cry for your team to get back to Game 6 and right the wrong. I like it, but I think it's dangerous. And I think this team has sort of lived with the burden of thinking all year long, okay, now all we have to do is get back to Game 6 of the finals, which, as you well know, is way easier said than done. So all year, we've talked about this before on the show. Are we there yet? Nope, we're not there yet. Well, do we have to beat Oklahoma City in the regular season again? Yeah, you got to play them again, and you got to kind of get a little edge over them so maybe you can beat them in the playoffs, but you can't. So that's why it's dangerous. But I do like it that a coach who in the past, Stephen, as you well know, after big losses, has gone to the local restaurant, had a glass of wine or two, and gone on to the next practice and the next game, and he does not want to talk about what just happened. He will not let go of this one. And far out of character for Popovich, and my friend Buck Harvey wrote about this today. You know Buck, I know, from San Antonio, from the Express News, great columnist, and very plugged-in Spurs observer, wrote about how Gregg Popovich has been specific on one play from Game 6, and this is unlike him. Popovich usually doesn't go public with these kinds of things. This time, however, he has singled out Danny Green to more than one member of the press. The quote that Carrie read was actually out of to Sports Illustrated, right, but it was used in Buck's column that she read from. Most important rebound of the game, we have one player who's backing up. I don't know if we have that play, if we could see it again. This is, for me, not an obscure play, but one that I don't think you or I would have focused on the show the next morning, because LeBron misses a three, there's a rebound, fumbled around, Mike Miller comes up with the ball and gives it back to LeBron, who then makes a three to at least set up the frantic finish that we saw God help us all, Ray Allen hitting the three to send it to overtime. But Danny Green gave up on the play and was acting like he was going to cherry pick and get free for a layup when obviously all they needed was a stop and they're going to win the game. And Pop won't let it go. And I understand Pop was hard on Danny Green in training camp. He's been very hard on him all year. Danny's been in and out of the doghouse. And I'm thinking, wow, really? Off one fairly obscure play to us. Again, he's one of the top couple of coaches in the league, but he has fixated on this play and will not let it or Game 6 go. Again, I like the big picture message of it. I hope the team can live up to it, but this is not the Gregg Popovich we used to know. Your thoughts?
Well, again, because it's a devastating loss. It wasn't a regular season loss. It wasn't a game within the finals. I mean, you lost the championship. We all knew in our heart of hearts when Miami escaped with Game 6 that, you know, San Antonio had virtually emptied the chamber. It was over, okay? Because no matter how hard they played, no matter how tough Game 7 was, in the end, for LeBron and those boys to escape, to be 28 seconds away from elimination, down 5, for the ropes to circle the court, and people walking out of the arena,
It's over.
you know, thinking that Miami had lost, or it was over.